other different institutes, as well as from Bharatiya Vidya Institute of Management Science. We are glad to welcome Professor Dr. Rita Basu, HOD, Head of the Department and Professor of Applied Psychology Department, University of Calcutta. We cordially invite you, ma'am, and we are very privileged to have you here. I'm honored to introduce us Dr. Basu is an acclaimed academician with a wide experience in both industry as well as academia. Her interest areas are organizational behavior principles. So, Dr. Shivu Prasad Mahapatra to kindly felicitate Dr. Rita Basu. I request you, ma'am, to please come. As we begin our paper presentation session, Utkarsh 2, I invite Dr. Rita Basu to kindly deliver her keynote address.
Very good morning to all of you. My welcome to all the dignitaries, faculties, and the participants, and the dear students. Here we are, and this is the next day, second day of your conference, and your theme of your conference is Sustainable Trends in Management, Commerce, Humanities, Social Science Research. In this regard, I want to share something that is relevant in today's research trend in organization, as well as that what exactly how the sustainable development in organization can take place. In this respect, I am going to discuss about the learning organization. Learning organization are tool for sustainable organizational development. Okay. Now, when we are thinking about that, there are different terminology here. First one is the sustainable development. Traditionally, the sustainable development emphasizes on what factors? It was on technological aspect as well as the systems development. But last few decades, we have seen that there is a major changes in social and economic aspects. So, in the present day, organizations are more concerned about the economic and financial evolution as well as the social relationship within the organization, and the last but not the least is the leader and manager are trying to make a relationship with their employees, workforce or members, whatever we can say. So, this is the major aspects, and so there is a shift from previous sustainability concept of sustainable development to the present scenario. So what we have learned from that? We have learned from that there is a shift. This shift confronts organization with the challenge of traditional strategies for sustainable development. It requires an organization must contribute to economic growth, social progress, besides providing environmental sustainability. Here I am not mentioning the name of the researcher, I am just telling that what are the different researchers, I am trying to just summarize their findings. Researchers identified that there are certain missing links. They identified 7 major missing elements in traditional strategy. Now, the organization member, because I told that this is the area, that is the social research as well as the relationship with the human being, is a major part in organization setting. So there is a need for flexibility of the organization member, encouraging with the norm of the organization. So when it will come if the members become flexible and they are ready to accept any kind of challenges or any kind of change in organization setting. Thirdly, as there is a flexibility, naturally there is a question of utilization of, they have to consider the environmental aspects of what is the need of the environment, and whatever their output, that is also going to the environment, so it must be related to the environmental aspect. So it should be enhanced, and so that organization as it is taking care of the human needs and aspirations. It is just going beyond about the requirement of the organization, giving the opportunity of the people within the organization to develop, to think about what they can get. They can also explore their dream. They can nurture with their dream. And the organization will give them opportunity and giving them the guideline that yes, this is a way you can move towards the organization, because it is the goal of the organization, it is the mission of the organization, and accordingly we can move. Organization can move to fulfill the needs and the aspiration of their members. And if the members are happy, then they can excel for their organization. There should be the transparency of the core strategy. Generally, it is a general speaking that think about the strategic aspect of the operation level. But the transparency at the core strategy is basically that you transparent in your mission, vision, goal, objective, whether whatever you have written in that mission, vision, goal, objective statement, whether it can be fulfilled or not. If it cannot be fulfilled, please we think about that and please evaluate that and please modify this. And the last thing is that whatever you are going to do, try to review continuously and try to change it continuously. So this is all about the missing link of the organization. In this aspect, there are some of the long back ago, there is a change equation model, and in that change equation model, there are basically 4 aspects. You can get an opportunity to share with this kind of sense with my colleague, with my fellow, so that all of we can, as a whole, develop a total sense for the benefit of my organization. And it is only possible when the organization will provide you the proper space to think. That means a certain kind of environment. Next one is that there is an agreement and clarity that what we can do and what we should do, where we pass and where we want to go. Because the needs and aspiration of the people, if it is not at par with the need of the organization, that will create certain chaos. But that agreement, if there is an agreement and clarity among the members with their leaders, then it can lead to the proper direction. So for that purpose, there is a need for huge communication. And the last one is that it is the will of all the stakeholders of the organization whether they think that it is a possibility. So what kind of learning we have? We have learned that if the strategy is like that, this kind of strategy exactly help us to accept a challenge to different internal and create a different internal environment within the organization setting. And this kind of different internal environment is known as learning organization. Now, the Peterson is the father of learning organization, and he defined learning organization as where people continually expand their capacity to create the result. When we are telling the continually expand their capacity, that means organization is providing them opportunity to expand their capacity. Number one, and there is an expansive pattern of thinking and a nurtured collective aspiration, that means team relationship, deep buildings are there, deep relationship, and they can, as a whole, they can think about the organization requirement. And lastly is that people are continually learning how to learn together. It is not an individual, whatever I am going to learn and it remains within me. It is that I am sharing my learning with the other people. Through my experience, job experience, through my training, or even from the error, I have learned something. Organization will not punish me. They will give me opportunity to share your learning with the other people so that people can learn from you and they can learn as a whole. Actually, it is called that if some people are working in an organization for 25 years and leave the organization, then what will happen? All his experience, all his learning will go with him. So the concept should be changed to learning organization and learner of the organization. Peter Singer also identified the 5 factors that is also explained in his 5th discipline, books in 5th discipline. The personal mastery, that means giving the opportunity of an individual to utilize his capacity objectively. Members demands to act positively by the members to the organization, and that means to think about the change role of human resource of the organization, that is transformation of organization into learning organization. Now, how this transformation can take place? There is a certain roadmap for that. The transformation, as the researcher identified, it is a huge adaptation. Adaptation means whatever the experience, whatever the learning they have gathered from their experience and from their job, etc., they will try to adapt themselves in organization setting and also try to modify themselves in organization.
Thank you, ma'am, for your enlightening words. We are now ready to begin the paper presentation session. So I would request Dr. Rita Basu to kindly chair the session. And now I hand it over to Moshe of MBA first semester to carry on the session forward.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am Marshall Reddy, student of Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan Institute of Mechanical Science. Welcome to all to the third technical session named as Utkarsh 2. So, moving Professor Sripana Bhattacharya, co-authored by Professor Aditya Mukherjee. Please, ma'am.
So due to some technical problems, ma'am will be presenting next. So we'll be calling the second presenter first, and then we'll have so the second presenter is. Before starting with the paper, I need to mention a few things about my paper. That is, I have worked in a sector during my research which emphasizes on the automotive and the two-wheeler battery segment. So as we all know, the consumption of our battery, the cars are increasing nowadays in a rapid speed. But the market size of the automotive battery sector is around $500 million, in which 60 to 65% of the total segment is dominated by the automotive battery segment. Not only that, after the post-pandemic times, we have seen there is a huge boom in the automobile sector. The predictive analysis which the researchers have gone through, not only that, it increased by 16%. So we can understand there is a huge demand for the automotive battery sector, not only battery, but all the spare parts. In itself, the automotive industry is rapidly growing in the post-pandemic times. So to provide any marketing strategy, it is very much important to understand the perspective. The perspective here I have understood is of the dealer's perspective and the consumer perspective, so that I can provide a total holistic approach about my study.
So before going further, I want to introduce to the company for whom I have designed a marketing strategy, that is Bosch. Bosch is a very well-known brand, one of the market leaders in the automotive sector, who are the leaders of manufacturing of the different automotive cars, spare parts, not only cars, bikes, huge trucks, and all those. They are the market leaders. But now Bosch has Bosch wanted entry into the vehicle battery segment, and for a reason of which I have designed a sustainable marketing strategy for us to promote their product in a way so that they are using the product are using to buy recycle segments. Those are known as the sustainable marketing. So there are several benefits about the sustainable marketing. Those are the strategies which ensure a steady growth in the business. It results in higher brand engagement, sales, and brand loyalty. Not only that, during the literature review, I have found out that there are 33% of the consumers who see brands as responsible for the environment. Sustainable marketing, it also have a holistic approach which used for both the consumer and the dealer's perspective. Based on the findings, I have prescribed the sustainable marketing strategy from the same. Thank you very much for the
I will request our session chair if she has any questions towards the first presenter.
The first question is, what kind of sampling exactly help you to come to a conclusion?
Ma'am, actually I have done like 134 respondents from the car and bike owners who have planned to buy EV vehicles by online.
I am telling you, I am asking you that how for a convenience sampling help to help in your conclusion.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, when I was doing the study, I thought the dealer's perspective and the consumer perspective both are required for the study.
I think you cannot understand my question.
Yes, ma'am.
I am asking the research methodology that convenience sampling means that whatever the sample you are getting, you are dealing with that.
Yes.
Whether it is a representative for
Yes,
your
ma'am.
study or not.
It's a representative because, ma'am, by asking the consumer who are actually using the product, I got to know their perspective from the dealer's point of view and from the consumer point of view. So for that particular reason, I have done the survey in a convenience sampling method, by convenience sampling method. That is the thing I want to explain.
So what are the components of your questionnaire? What are the different components?
The components were the ease of use. Will they switch to an EV brand? What are the factors you will look out before buying the EV battery from that particular brand, or what factors you actually think when they thought about the EV perspective? Not only that, from dealer's perspective as well as
Now you mentioned that there are benefits of sustainable marketing. What are the benefits of sustainable marketing in general for coming from your study?
Ma'am, when we are dealing with the EV sector, EV segment, EV itself is like an example or a good example for sustainable development. So while I was doing for the survey, I thought that for a sustainable product, a sustainable marketing strategy will work on better environment. So from that perspective, I thought the sustainable marketing strategy is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Okay, it was a nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Before you started at the outset, you said that they are not covering the manufacturing aspect of these batteries.
No, I actually said that every research has come with a certain limitation. There are two limitations which I can explain from this presentation is that I have already done the survey in the Kolkata and the Howrah segment, so I cannot assure you that these strategies will work all over the India or not. That's the first limitation.
I'm talking
Yes, sir, I'm coming to your question.
Yeah.
But
Do you have any idea?
Yes,
The manufacturing process and the production process.
yes,
How much damage do they do to the
yes,
environment?
because you can get that during the lockdown period as well. The lithium-ion battery production was little bit downward in the India as well because there are few natural resources which actually India export from outside. And during the production of the lithium-ion battery, there are many child laborers who are included in the particular process. So these are few of the negative impacts which lithium-ion battery has, which I have not included in this particular study.
Thank you. So, the next paper will be presented by Sri Jujati Mukherjee, co-written by Dr. G.B. Subramanian. Moving to the next presenter, we have Professor Sipana Bhattacharya. co-authored by Professor Rajendra Mukherjee. So ma'am, please count.
Delay. My paper is on role of emotional intelligence and self-esteem on creativity of future leaders. Co-authored with Professor Rajendra Mukherjee, Assistant Professor of BIMS, Kolkata. This is the presentation outline over here. So in the VUCA world, the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. There is a critical role of the HR, that how HR will work in this world. So HR must have a vision, they have the understanding of the process and they should have the clarity, and the HR should be agile in this time. So this is a diagrammatic representation of the role of the HR in the VUCA world, as the ma'am mentioned in her speech, that in the learning, the HR, the organization should be learning organization, and the organization should integrate it with the technical aspects. As we all know that we are moving from the moving to the HR analytics. We are now in the analytics part world. And now the today's manager require tomorrow's, the integrating the traditional management approaches and viewpoints with the modern approaches, which emphasizing on the individual employee, increase flexibility in the workplace, involve employees' hearts and minds and bodies to make a difference. And creative problem solving has become an important dimension to the managerial activity, since creativity is the on-demand skill for nowadays and for future also. These are few literature review has been done over here. Due to the shortage of the space or in the time and for the time, so all the literature review all not happening here. The relation between emotional intelligence and creativity, whatever the found, there is a positive correlation and causal relationship has been found. While in case of the relationship between self-esteem and creativity, it varies across the industries and across the gender and across the age also. There is a correlation, positive correlation has been found, but causal significance or causal relationship is not found in the literature review. So, background of the present study has come in the mind in the thought that as the Gen Z and millennials, both of the diversified workforce are working in the today's organization and future organization also. So the organization have to keep it in the mind in the changing industry perspective, that how this will manage with the time. And now this is the time where the great resignation is going on, how the HR or the employee asset can be sustained in the organization. Methodology have been considered, emotional intelligence and self-esteem has been considered as the independent variable, and creativity has been considered as the dependent variable. The operational definition has been given according to the instrument has been selected. The hypothesis, the four hypotheses here, alternative hypothesis, two of the four for the correlation between the EI and creativity, self-esteem and creativity, and two for the regression equation, that we want to see that whether they have a causal impact of self-esteem or creativity on, emotional intelligence or creative self-esteem on the creativity or not. The gender distribution has been, and their age profile. This is the mean and standard deviation. Now moving to the correlation analysis, as we have found out, there is a significant and positive correlation between creativity and emotional intelligence, while the self-esteem and creativity also a significant positive correlation have been found. These are the tables of regression model. This is the regression analysis result, the hypothesis testing. So a conceptual framework can be framed here on the basis of the result that emotional intelligence and creativity gives the social learning theory of Bandura, which gave the retention of the employee ultimately. Now, so we have to give emphasis on the increase of emotional intelligence much more. So there are some emotional intelligence intervention method that EI can be developed. As we know, self-esteem cannot be developed. It can only be nurtured by parents and teacher only. So by the intervention method, few intervention method has been mentioned over here. The training, basically the lecture, role play, GD sessions can be mentioned here to increase the emotional intelligence. The theoretical implication can be social learning theory, retention. That's all from my part, and limitation and future research scope. That's all from my part.
How do you differentiate between creativity and innovation? Because it is a quantum situation. You have considered the. So how do you differentiate between that? Creativity and innovation.
Creativity is a cognitive process, purely cognitive process, and creativity can start from our knowledge. Then creativity is the experience part, and innovation is the application part.
Okay. Now, another thing, what was about the sampling you have actually passed very
Yes, that is the random sampling.
Second question is that the sustainable future workforce is Gen Z, but sustainable future workforce.
Ma'am, creativity always gives the sustainability of the workforce.
So then means you are giving the
Ma'am, the retention I have mentioned, the social learning theory by Bandura. So the paper has been mentioned there. The retention will give the sustainability.
You haven't seen any effect of EI and self-esteem on creativity as a whole?
No, and not as a whole. This is the regression model. The EI has also and the AC also has.
But the effect, that is a two-way anomaly.
No, I have not conducted. Since as we increase,
Whatever you have found, from your findings, we have some conclusion. But how it is related to your research work?
Research work means to maintain the sustainability. If we increase the EI, then obviously we can increase the creativity. That is from the research, past research.
But whatever you told us last day, that it is your suggestion or your comments.
Yes, it is my suggestions. The application part.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, my friends and colleagues, all the professors and judges, and Vilato Sadhu, and the authors of our paper is Vilato Sadhu, Vice President Ajay Gupta, and Professor Divya Chopra. So in the last few decades, we have seen that on different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, sustainable fashion industry, fashion sustainability, these are the most trending words. And also we have seen that businesses are nowadays doing business on those brands which are selling sustainable apparel. So in this study, we are aiming to discover the different factors influencing this attitude towards sustainable apparel. So the first objective of our research study is to explore the factors which influence the business attitude towards sustainable apparel, and the second objective of our research study is to measure the influence of the factors on the business attitude towards sustainable apparel. So in this slide, we can see that for our research study, we have chosen 5 constructs: subjective norms, strengths, concern for self and society, peer pressure, and attitude. And the literature review part is also shown in this slide, as you can see that. Here we had 5 stands for strongly agree and 1 stands for strongly disagree. And to collect the data from them, we have used judgmental sampling method and used structured level question.
Good morning, everyone. So this is our first slide, which shows the results of demographic profile analysis. So We have collected our data based on gender, age, level of education, marital status, profession, and household income per month. As we can see that the percentage of male and female respondents are in quite similar percentage of 57.22 and 42.78 respectively. Our respondents are quite young. They mostly belong to the age group of 18 to 21. 78% of our respondents are unmarried, and majority of them are students with monthly household income ranging between 50,000 to 70,000. Next comes reliability and validity analysis. As we all know that for any study, reliability and validity analysis are the two most important parameters to test. Here, as we can see that for the 5 constructs, subjective norms, trends, concern for self and society, peer pressure and attitude, the Cronbach alpha value is 0.907, which indicates the internal consistency reliability for all the 5 constructs. And we have got our KMO value as 0.820, and from the Brackets test, we have got our chi-square value as 1451.540 with significance level of 0.000. We can see that for the 4 hypotheses, the R-square values are 0.618, 0.274, 0.217, and 0.116. And the p-value for all the 4 hypotheses is 0.000, which means that all the 4 hypotheses are supported. With this, we have come to our conclusion. We can say that there is a positive relationship for all the 4 hypotheses. It can be concluded that 2 factors, subjective norms and traits, are the most important factors which influences Gen Z's attitude towards sustainable apparel. And for the other factors, concern for self and society and trends, concern for self and society and peer pressure, it can be said that they also influence Gen Z's attitude to some extent. Although we have some limitations, we have collected our data from Kolkata only. It does not represent the entire image of the nation. And from next time onwards, we will try to collect our data from other metro cities as well. Thank you everyone for having me.
Very relevant study related to apparel. But you had a 4 factors, subjective norm, trade, concern, self and society, and peer pressure. 4 factors. And all have a positive relationship. Apart from that, do you feel any other factors that may affect sustainable? So you can certainly have a positive. What are the others?
Apart from all the 4 factors, I think self-esteem would be one.
Self-esteem would be. But you have considered the concern for self and society. For self-esteem, you are defining from the other aspect. How do you define self-esteem?
Self-esteem, it's about one's own perspective.
Then concern for self is there. You figure. Any other factors? Do you
Another factor can be pride.
pride?
Price.
Price, yes. Price is the factor. Availability is the factor. Acha. Another question is that, and last question, what is the implication of this study? You haven't mentioned anything.
We will say that ma'am, that if anyone wants to start up something, start up any business, so he or she can go with this formula that is our target customers and see this that we are producing sustainable apparel, they can the business can generate more and more revenue. So
If these things were quite in your mind, why didn't you add these things? Okay. Thank you.
thank you.
That you have administered a self-structured question, right?
For presentation, I would like to call Dr. Shona Vera for the presentation.
A very good morning to one and all. Although we are at the juncture of morning and afternoon, but still my copy is suggesting that it's morning, so very good morning to one and all. And my topic of presentation is music as an intervention for self and other management based on positive emotions and spirituality. It's an inspiration. Now, contemporary workplace atmosphere is prone to generating stress. We all know this. Now, deadlines have to be met. One has to work beyond office hours. Therefore, family or personal life is susceptible to disruptions and interruptions. stress is also contagious. One can be affected by others. And in a hierarchical system, stress from the top also permeates down. And in the long run, stress can also induce depression and jealousy. And these can generate negative emotions such as frustration, anxiety, anger in the immediate context. Under such circumstances, partial or short-term strategies may be evolved by the organizations to minimize stress and to bring positive energy into the workplace. Many organizations induct outside intervention strategies such as yoga, stress management techniques, relaxing techniques, counseling and so on in order to reduce workplace stress. Now while some of them are essential therapeutic in nature, such as counseling or recreation, others such as yoga can have a spiritual orientation. This paper proposes music as a strategy, rather as an intervention strategy that might reduce stress and even induce spirituality in an implicit, non-intrusive way. Music is compatible with most of the strategies and can be applied during work available so that one can listen to using earplugs. And a wide range of instruments can also be made available. Now both at personal and at generic level, music with spiritual affinity can also be used to induce calmness, positive mindset so as to reduce stress and conflict. And finally, since music is universally accepted, it can be used as an effective intervention strategy in a workplace, but unobtrusively, thus making it possible for other kinds of intervention strategies such as yoga, stress management and relaxation techniques more effective. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. The first question is that you, in your conclusion, you use the music as a strategy. Music strategy for controlling the stress.
For self and other, I have read different papers about the therapeutic value of music. But music used as an intervention strategy in workplace is probably an area that is yet to be explored.
Yet to be explored.
Therapeutic values.
So now the next, just you define and clearly tell me that what exactly you mean by spirituality.
Probably, to be very frank, I also probably do not know what is the exact definition of spirituality, but what I understand by spirituality is when I know my own self through a process which is called spirituality, I can relate myself to others and the entire universe that is lying in front of me, and probably that makes me aware that I'm a part of the universe and the universe is also a part of me.
Good afternoon everyone, my name is Marco Chakravarti. I'm from MBA first sem. I'll be presenting my paper on the prospects of sustainable development of Indian tourism industry with respect to Indian heritage sites. I've been duly guided by my classmate Muskan Singh and Professor Poonami Rajastri. Now, first of all, I would like to mention the methodology. So this is a descriptive study solely based on secondary data with the help of various articles, newspapers, etc. available in the internet. The scope of study. The study has been limited to a particular geographical area, which is basically India, and the time period has been limited to pre and post-COVID mainly, with a few exceptions. Now, objectives of this study. The first objective is building an idea to what actually heritage tourism is. Secondly, what are the government reforms that have been introduced in the heritage tourism industry? Thirdly, the problems which we have faced in the heritage tourism industry and promoting cultural heritage also. Now, the heritage sector has been divided into 30 main thematic circuits by the central government's Swadesh Darshan scheme and the heritage tourism circuit. Some of the main heritage tourism circuits are the desert circuit, the golden temple, the golden triangle, and the Himachal Circuit. Now, what is sustainable tourism, which is today's main topic? How to relate sustainable tourism to heritage tourism? Sustainable tourism aspires to acknowledge all the impacts of tourism, which are both positive and negative. It aims to minimize the negative impacts and maximize the positive ones. What is the main aim of sustainable heritage tourism? To recognize the importance of the heritage places or architectural sites and monuments, make heritage tourism environment friendly, which we are always emphasizing on, the green tourism and the green environment. And lastly, investment in people and places. Both investment in places and in human behavior or people needs to be done. Now, what are the problems of the tourism industry? First of all, the problem of recognition. We fail to recognize the small industry, the small heritage monuments, the places which we are less traveled by. Then the corruption which leads to lack of funds. We talk about funding, but corruption finally ends in a lackluster behavior which results in the lack of funds. Lack of awareness regarding the unknown sites. Vandalism. I think vandalism is one of the major aspects which the government has emphasized on and planned to restrict such activities. Taking care and maintenance of the monuments and the sites, and the mismanagement which occurs in more than every sector, like every other sector in tourism industry also. Encroachment by the local vendors. The local vendors need to set up their own shops and all near the archaeological sites, which causes a great inconvenience. And the irresponsible visitors, the visitors which take to draw on the walls, rides on the temples, these are the main problems of the tourism industry. Now, need of preservation, I think there are basic two anthropogenic and natural causes, which are pollution, urbanization, the biological factors, the change in temperature and radiation. The radiation, I think, is one of the most important aspects when it comes to management of tourism. Now, what are the government initiatives that have been taken? Firstly, the Incredible India 2.0, which emphasized that India is ready for a high level of tourism. The Swadesh Darshan scheme, which emphasized on the development of the thematic circuits, which have been emphasized on the presentation before. And thirdly, the Adopt Heritage scheme in 2017, which is a collaborative effort between the Ministry of Tourism, Archaeological Survey of India, and the state government to make the companies use the CSR fundings towards the development of tourism in India. Now, there are a few structural conservation sites like the Haveli of Dharampura, the Taj Mahal, which have been preserved and conserved by using various methods. The impact of COVID on tourism. There are 40 million indirect job losses, 20 to 30% drop in visitors, annual loss of revenue of 17 billion, and 50% shrink in the travel industry, which has caused a great harm to the heritage tourism circuit as well. Now, what are the findings? The positive impact of the effective government measures that have been taken. We have understood that there is a major gap when it comes to management of heritage sites. We understand that there is a need for refurbishing monuments of every kind, and all the things together point towards a certain roadmap leading to sustainability. And what are the suggestions that we will be suggesting now? First of all, infrastructure development, the development of the monuments, promoting investment, imparting awareness, modernization, that is promoting homestays, and green tourism, which promotes the pollution-free environment. Thank you. May I mention that method of analysis is a descriptive study. We haven't used any question or something like that. We have used the sources that are available.
Another question, that what is an intangible cultural heritage?
The intangible cultural heritage is basically the sites which are used as a site for pilgrimage. The Dakshineshwar temples and all that are basically based on our beliefs and culture, and that's the intangible heritage site.
One question. Give an example of any heritage tourism site in West Bengal.
Heritage?
Tourism site.
Vishnupur, the temples of Vishnupur.
Correct.
Thank you.
at the very outset, I would like to request the chairperson to give you 15 minutes time. So I would not like any problem to be raised. So let me start my presentation. My presentation is Sustainable Human Development, the Gandhian Perspective. There is much talk about sustainability. You will hear sustainability in the media very often. But somehow or other we confuse what we mean by sustainability. Sustainability came to light from the Brundtland Commission report titled Our Common Future, and sustainability has a definite connotation with regard to society and economy. So, sustainable admission or sustainable something else, sustainable stock market does not connote what exactly is meant by sustainability and what has been meant by sustainability over the years. I was not told this. I was not informed this before my presentation. Before my presentation, I said I need 15 minutes time.
But other presenter was given the same time.
Other presenters are students. I am not a student. But I was not informed earlier. I was not informed earlier. I was not informed before my presentation.
I apologize. I apologize to Session Chairman, Dr. Mr. Basu, for not being able to abide by the time schedule. I'm very sorry for that. On behalf of the being one of the co-conveners, I apologize sincerely. Now I request our next.
I would like to call Dr. Proma Rai Chaudhary. Please come on stage.
Hello everyone. I'm extremely sorry about the delay and the technical difficulties. I am Proma Rai Chaudhary and I'm here to present the paper titled Gender Gap, Institutional Belonging and Political Self-Making of Women in the Communist Party of India, Marxist, CPIM in short. Special thanks to the organizers for the invitation and to the kind chairperson. Okay, so first I would like to very quickly go over the paper objectives and the method. This paper engages with two research questions in an integrated approach. The first one is how does the CPIM condition the political participation of its women members, and secondly, how do the women party members articulate their sense of belonging and cultivate themselves as political actors in the process. Speaking about the method, the paper follows the theoretical approach of feminist institutionalism. I'll come to it in the next slide. And the methodological approach is the post-positivist approach of interpretivism. And the paper does an in-depth case study of the political party in West Bengal with insights from other states as well. Speaking of the research method in particular, the paper has conducted document analysis and integrated it with semi-structured interviewing of women party members. Very briefly again about the paper structure. At first there is the theoretical and methodological approach which I'll elaborate on shortly. The second section decides to look at the CPIM as a gender cultural institution, looking in particular at women's underrepresentation and marginalization in the party. This is in keeping with the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly the United Nations sponsored SDG 5.5, which is women's political inclusion and political participation. And the third section talks about women's institutional belonging and their political self-makings. Speaking very briefly about the theoretical and methodological approach, the first theoretical approach that I would like to briefly discuss is feminist institutionalism.
It is an approach that focuses on gendered formal rules and informal codes and practices that contribute to institutional continuity. And it is often marked by a study of women's underrepresentation. Why are women underrepresented? Why are women marginalized from leadership positions in institutions like political parties? So, while families worked as launch pads and continuing support systems for women, community activism contributed to the honing of their leadership skills and cultivated of horizontal solidarities among women colleagues. Talking about self-making, so again very briefly speaking, I can discuss it further during the Q&A. So I have identified two logics. One is the logic of defeminization, where the gender, caste and class identities of women party members were seen by themselves as obstacles towards achieving their idealized communist subjectivity, being an idealized communist. And this was also accompanied by distinguishing themselves from other women who were viewed as narcissistic, as acquisitive, as ambitious, etc. There, can I have 1 minute, just to wrap it up? Thank you. Their vision of political activism was also reflected in their interpretation of their lives as struggle, as sangharsh or sangram. So this struggle was against, at one level it was against social and revolutionary, social and economic exploitation, as well as an inner struggle to become a de-individuated, de-gendered, revolutionary communist subjectivity. I will stop here. I'll just let you read the conclusion, and I'll be happy to discuss if other questions come to mind. Thank you.
One question that you told that it is a case study basis. How many cases you have considered?
It is an in-depth single case study.
Single case study. And you have told that document analysis and semi-structured interview. How do you analyze this? What is the method of analysis?
So the method of analysis has been the interpretivist method of discourse analysis. I have studied party documents like the party plenum reports and party publications, and I have coded them through NVivo, and that has been my discourse analysis, and I have also used semi-structured interviews to the same.
Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Since Mr. Rajiv Jain is not here, and he has requested me to say the excerpts of his PPT to the session chair, I'd like to present on the other. So the topic of his paper is the impact of celebrity product match principle on purchase intention, a study in the context of FMCG products in Delhi NCR. So he has defined celebrity endorsement, endorser and brand image from different texts as we can see. And some model is there of celebrity endorsement. The models are source credibility model, meaning transfer model, and these models have been proposed by several social scientists at different points of time. So match-up principle or congruence model, the Tier's model, and the Fred principle. So I think he has picked up this third one, match-up or congruence model, to test. So match-up hypothesis, it is a kind of hypothesis, assumption, discovering congruence between the celebrity endorser and the brand associated, and in succeeding influence of consumer buying intention. Personality and appropriateness plays a big role in people's purchasing intent. There are certain conclusions and factors to be kept in mind while choosing the celebrity, and message to deliver need to be checked, and congruence between the celebrity and the brand need to be validated, else the negative effect will creep up, leading to destroy the brand identity as such. I think it's up. So,
it would be a video presentation by Arjit Adhikari.
digital marketing is an effective form of marketing communication. I developed this paper under the guidance of Dr. Indrajit Sinha, and I'm pursuing my PhD from Maulana Abul Kalam Azad University of Technology under Dr. Indrajit Sinha. Sinha sir has guided me throughout this period, and I have collected data from around 100 individuals for the research process. First of all, in the literature review section, I have mentioned, as per Bakshi in his paper in the year 2013, written that variables influencing consumer behavior and efficiency of online advertising. So the variables which influences the consumer behavior related to a particular purchase is very important, as well as for that decision, the effectiveness of online advertisement. He has narrated that in his paper. In the year 2003, India actually in his paper mentioned internet usage for complete commercial tasks, including product and services, and also for brand promotions in the marketing field for every company itself. In the year 1987, Holbrook and Mitra both actually written in their paper that how an ad campaign can change the attitude of the consumer itself. In the ad campaign is and types of advertisement campaign is also important for promoting the brand or the services in the market. Questionnaire actually. And now comes the data analysis part. First of all, I have applied the KMO process. Kaiser, we have Pulkin and market test was applied and undertaken, and the point is around 0.755, which is very much satisfactory for the future and also eco-friendliness. So it's all around more than the desired value that has been mentioned in this table. Now, in the results and discussion part, the independent variables which have been mentioned, like the user friendliness, the fast and effectiveness of digital marketing, as well as the eco-friendliness of digital marketing and proper end-to-end communication actually suggests, as per the analysis part, it suggests that dependent variable, which is the digital marketing, is an effective form of marketing communication, and it supports the statement, yes, it is an effective form of marketing communication. Now the conclusion part is primary digital marketing is an effective form of online communication, and it can be used by various companies or organizations in current scenario to promote their brand or service in the market because of its features and the variables that I mentioned some before.
So this is an good afternoon all. So it was an wonderful session, wonderful morning, lot of insights, lot of learning, enlightening session. I really thank sincerely Dr. Rita Basu for her gracious presence at our conference. And now, before ending the session, I would request her to give a brief overview of the session, and after that, the certificates for this session will be distributed. Madam, kindly give a brief overview.
Your report and presentation of the paper. All the papers are very relevant. There is no question of relevancy of the paper. Everyone has tried a lot of. One thing is that as this is a technical session and also related with some research-based thing, so that methodology portion you must give more emphasis, and that is required. And also what is the implication, as it is a study, the conference is held in the management department, so what what is the implication, what is the application. But other than that, all the papers are very good and very relevant and well presented. Thank you.
Dr. Atindra Mukherjee, Neelamur Saru, Anshuja Shetgupta, Dr. Shomo Peda, Prabhu Chakraborty, Muskan Singh, Dr. Proma Rajchandri, but I request the next session is supposed to begin at 1:45 exactly. So I request everyone to assemble at the lunch venue and please quickly finish off your lunch and get back to this venue as soon as possible. Good afternoon everyone present here. I welcome you again to the next session of paper presentations titled Utkarsh 3, where we have assembled again for certain engaging discussions. And to chair over the session, we are privileged to have with us Dr. Smita Patnaik. We welcome you, sir, on behalf of the organizing team of Bharatiya Vidya Institute of Management Science. We are organizing this national conference on sustainability, trends and management practices. We are glad that you have made time out of your busy schedule and have visited us. Thank you so much. I now request Dr. Shiva Patnaik, Principal BIMS, to felicitate Dr. Smita Patnaik. Before I request Dr. Patnaik to deliver his keynote address, I would request Pritha, a student of MBA, to kindly read out his brief profile.
A very good afternoon to everyone present here. I, Pritha Das, student of Bharatiya Vidya Institute of Management Science, welcome you all to the last session, technical session, Utkarsh 3. It is our honor to have Dr. Smita Patnaik with us as our session chair. Dr. Patnaik is a banker with over 2 decades of experience in general banking, commercial banking, and credit operations. He worked in diverse geographies and presently posted as credit head in mid-market segment of Bandhan Bank. With respect to education, he is an MFC and PhD in management. His research interest is MSME. It is an honor for me to introduce you to the audience. I would request you to come on the dais and deliver the keynote.
Professor Dr. Mahapatra, all faculty members, esteemed faculty members, and the energetic friends from Bhavans. So, we can start? Yes, sir. So guys, if you could settle down. I would say I would not exactly go for address. I would try to make it a little interactive, if it is okay with you all. Okay, for 2 reasons. First, address is monotonous and too much theory for last 1.5 days now. And secondly, when we interact, we pass each other's knowledge. So that is how I try to enjoy it. Now, for last 5-7 years, if you have seen, by the time you might have in your graduation or your college, you must have heard these two, three terms: sustainability, green, climate change, and all these things. And this might have buzzed, especially in last 18 hours or 24 hours. Too much sustainability. Yes. In this campus, correct? Green, climate, sustainability, SDG, Paris, and all. Very good. So I would like to take 3 responses from you. What do you mean by sustainability? Anyone? There is nothing. Since we have interacted so much in last 1.5 days. So something might have gone to us. No? Some perception might be there present. Somebody, there is no right and wrong. What is sustainability? Someone, yeah, tell me. Quick, tell me.
There are limited number of resources and we need to use them in a way that resources can be passed down with time and not exhausted.
Okay. Anyone else? What is sustainability? Somebody else?
For me, I feel like fulfilling the present need, keeping in mind the future, whatever the future generation is coming up, maybe it's the organization or individual. So keeping in mind that particular thing.
Any other response? One more last response.
So ability to sustain.
So there is, we need to find out what is sustain. Okay. So guys, this sustainability you rightly said. Sustainability is something. This is a concept which is the ability to regenerate. Ability to regenerate and ensure the continuity. It is applicable everywhere. For the sake of understanding, if we try to understand sustainability, say for example, I am using this mic. I use it in such a manner that it is available for somebody tomorrow also, day after tomorrow also, 1 year later also. Then this use is sustainable. But somehow what has happened over the years, what we have done is that we have not used the resources that judiciously or that properly. So now it seems to many people that maybe after certain years, sometimes later, the resource may not be available which looks like abandoned today. So say for example, anybody is able to see the air or feeling that air is there or not. It is so easily available to us. Water so easily available to us. But the way that we are using these resources, it looks like that after certain years it will not be available. So there the question of sustainability is. But then sustainability is not limited to only climate. See, what has happened is that there is a lot of inequality across the nations in the society. Some people are poor, some are rich, some are educated, some are illiterate. That is also another problem. Okay, calm down. So, Charak is an Indian sage who existed in 300 BC. He is considered to be father of medicine. He is father of medicine, and 300 BC, almost 2000 years back, he developed all the cures to several diseases. And he has written a very famous book called Charak Samhita. Today also it is the Bible. So why I am quoting this is that 2000 years back, there was a discourse between Charak and his disciple. His name is Agnivesh. And Charak is telling Agnivesh that what I see is that the basic element of this art. So Indian Hindu mythology or Indian mythology says that the art is consisted of 5 basic elements. That is earth, air, water, fire, and soil. So all these 5 elements are gradually losing their essence. The air that used to be is now gradually losing the essence. The soil that used to be now gradually losing the essence. So what will happen is that in due course of time, maybe the whole nation will extinct. So there is a chapter, that chapter name is Janapada Bhangsha Vyadhi, means Janapada is state, nation. So something will happen, maybe when the entire nation will extinct. So the Agnivesh is asking him, ki, no, but why it will happen? We are in India, somewhere it is Europe, somewhere it is some other country, Japan is there. Why it will extinct? If somewhere some disease will take place or something will happen, they will be impacted. So it will be limited to them only. Then he says that no. Even if as a human being we are separate, but these elements are common to us. Air is common to us, water is common to us. So they are the common interaction between all the human beings wherever you stay. So one day will come, something will happen when all these human species will be extinct. Imagine he predicted it 2000 years.
Thank you, sir, for the deep knowledge. Before we, excuse me, everyone, please settle down. I'd like to remind the presenters and our session chair the timing rules. That is, every scholar will be given 10 minutes. The first buzzer will ring at 7 minutes and one more will be given to conclude the presentation, and the remaining 2 minutes will be open for question and answer.
I am Priyanka Sahu with my co-author Dr. Kiman Maindi. I am going to the presentation one of my research paper, Sustainable Marketing Strategy for Consumer Goods of Semi-Urban Customer and Application of Cluster Analysis. Plan of the presentation. First up, review of literature, objective of the study, hypothesis of the study, methodology of the study, data analysis, conclusion, bibliography. And my next presentation is review of literature. The consumer are more demanding, knowledgeable and well informed. And next, maximum publicity with minimal cost can be achieved through guerrilla marketing, highlighting the sensation, not bothering consumer and moreover not harming the publicity. So that against the background, we are proposed can alternative strategy to sustainable marketing strategies for semi-urban area in West Bengal. Conclusion. Advertising or marketing of the product that is sale and society and local government. Secondly, the product accessibility for all age group customer, that is internal competitive. My last slide is bibliography. I held this point, some point. Thank you.
Go back to the 2 slide back, your conclusion. So what is the alternative strategy you suggested for competitive pricing? First one.
Competitive price of product packaging, advertisement or marketing of the product.
Who were your sample, what was the nature of your sample like? Who is the respondent? So sample size was around 300. And variable you use 10.
four clusters.
Next presentation will be given by Abhichal Tiwari and Arnab Das.
Professors and the audience member present here. I, Arnab Das, along with my co-researcher Abhichal Tiwari and Assistant Professor Divendra Chakravarti, would like to present our research topic, Attitude toward counterfeit luxury goods among college students in Kolkata at the National Conference. Now let us first understand what we mean by the term counterfeiting. The history dates back to the Roman period. The first practice of counterfeiting dates back to the Roman period, when Gauls wine merchants changed their cheap local trademarks and put that into their another wines, expressing as it is an expensive wine. Basically, the term counterfeiting means an item that bears a brand name or a logo without the permission of the registered owner. The trade of counterfeit goods or the unauthorized imitation of the branded products offered on the black market has become an extensive economic global concern. The trade and the import of the counterfeit goods are worth nearly $500 billion a year. The intent of the counterfeit goods seller is not only to fool the buyer, but also the buyers are consciously purchasing counterfeit luxury items due to several social and personal basis to enter the software. Now let's move on to the conceptual model. This study employed 7 constructs of variables. The scale of these constructs were adopted from the extant literature. Those scales were modified in the study based on the context to reflect the characteristics of Kolkata students and counterfeit products. Now, based on our research, we have prepared the conceptual model which have 7 independent variables that may affect the consumer attitude, that is a dependent variable.
So let's see data analysis part to understand how these 7 constructs affect the consumer attitude. So first of all, in the demographic profile analysis, we got the gender ratio for male and female as 53% for male and 46% for females. So the gender ratio is almost equal, and the age ratio we are more having from the first 2 categories 18 to 25, and obviously the level of education is undergraduate and graduates. Most of the data is from that particular category, and most of them are unmarried because our data is from the young generation group, and mostly the Kolkata students, age 3, age 4, and age 6. That means that these particular constructs are directly supported towards consumer attitude, and where the status symbol and fashion consumption, as I said, that these are influencing the most. Where 2 variables, that ethical perception and price quality inference, these 2 constructs are not supporting our these 2 constructs are not supporting the hypothesis statements, means these are not having a direct relationship with consumer attitude. Now, here we conclude. So this study suggests that, as I said, having this value of 0.611 for status symbol and fashion consciousness for 355, the most important factors toward counterfeit luxury products for Kolkata, obviously, Kolkata market. And apart from that, concern for price, gratification, peer effect, also those factors also influence the attitude towards purchasing counterfeit products. Okay, and here I also want to say that this particular study has a particular limitation that we have studied in the geographical area of Kolkata. So it might be that if we have studied further in different locations or different geographical area or having a more population, the data may alter or having different variables depending on the particular population. Here we conclude, and if you have anything to suggest us or modification, you can be open to that.
Yeah, can you just go back to that? So this research seems to be very interesting actually. Here we have 2 factors that has come up, status symbol and fashion consciousness. Why affordable price has not come? Have you thought about it?
Yes, sir. We thought that will be the most important factor.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Yeah. So while researching on the literatures, we have found there also for different countries and different regions, that was also one of the most important factors.
I think that will be your extension of research. See, I think your findings are quite good because we are compared to a counterfeit product. Because we want to show that yes, I also wear it. and I am conscious of that. But essentially price is not a criteria to influence that, because if I will be really having the price, I will not go for compromise. Right? I will go for the real one. So the Gucci dress, this thing we, yeah, that is the ethics we, if I can really afford a Gucci, I will not go to Park Street to buy one. Maybe that is the reason the affordable price is not coming, but your findings are good. Thank you so much, sir.
Now we will have Dr. Rupa Mukherjee for the next presentation. So please come on, you guys.
Hello. Okay, so very good afternoon to all of you. Thanks to all of you for being here today. And my heartfelt gratitude to the chairperson, sir, all the respected teachers, the co-participants and my beloved students. I am Dr. Rupa Mukherjee, Assistant Professor of Economics, Bhavishyamantu Mahavidyalaya, that is affiliated to the University of Burdwan. And today I am going to present before you one of my recent research work. And the title of my paper is Access to Formal Credit for Farmers in West Bengal, Key Determinants and Policy Implications. Now, we all know that accessibility and availability of credit is one of the important and critical input for agricultural productivity and enhancing farmers' income. Now, if you go to the theoretical background, there are three possible linkages with a crop loan that can impact the farmers in particular and agricultural economy in general. The first one is the liquidity effect, in which we say that if the farmers have access to credit, then they can go for purchase of seeds, fertilizers, pesticides, the farming equipments, and that will not only increase the agricultural productivity but also will raise farmers' economic factors that motivate the farmers to take loan from the formal sources of credit. But what I have found that almost no research work has been done at the village level in the North 24 Parganas district of West Bengal that is not only agriculturally rich but also the home of many small and marginal farmers of the nation. So my objective of the study, and I have chosen Barabedia and Bodal village of Amdana block and Chondipur and Gopna village of Baduria block. You know, Amdana and Baduria are the two blocks where the cropping intensities are the highest among other blocks of the district. And these villages have been chosen because these are the villages having maximum number of cultivating households in those particular blocks. The data were collected in terms of a structured questionnaire design. And this is the so-called confusion matrix which proves that my model fits very well. You can see the specificity is 98, the sensitivity is 75, and overall accuracy level is 91.2%. Here I have forgot to mention that the Bondmark alpha value is 0.78, which also shows the model is internally consistent. And this is the result of the logistic regression. Here you can find that education, landholding size, non-farm income and distance from the banking branch, these four are the more important variables which just adequate information and awareness about the farmers regarding the bank's facilities that they can get. The second one is the lack of adequate collateral. The third one is the comparatively lower processing cost and procedural difficulties in obtaining credit from the informal sources. The fourth one is the timely cash disbursement at a time of urgent need by the informal sources. And the last one is the absence of proper land records or the land rights of the sharecroppers. That may become an endemic problem for the farmers. So the last slide is the policy relevance. We can prescribe for the expansion of the formal credit outlets in the rural areas, the awareness generation programs in terms of camps, such that farmer can understand the benefits of having the formal source of credit, the initiative to organize different sorts of workshop to understand how to do the farming and how to get loan, how to fill the forms to get loan from the formal sources, and government should also rationalize the interest rate and should arrange for collateral free loans. So this is all about my presentation, sir. Thank you.
One second. These regions that you got out of the survey,
yeah.
This is not from your analysis, data analysis.
Actually, it is from the data analysis. What we have done, sir, the analysis in two parts. One is the quantitative analysis and second one is the qualitative analysis.
This is out of qualitative.
This is from the qualitative analysis. These are the major points.
One slide back. this distance from the nearest bank, why there is a negative value?
But actually, if farmers are actually staying close to the banks, it is a high probability that they will get more information regarding the bank branches, the types of logo and the holdings. They can understand. So that's why there is more probability that farmers will go to the bank to take the information and get the loans from the foreign source. So that's why closer the homes, more the possibility. So the relation is negative.
And the last one is not a significant.
Not a significant one.
The problem is why they are going to the informal sources.
Next paper presentation will be given by Manisha Shah and Akash Ganguly. I am Manisha Shah, and this is a paper on factor analysis approach to understand consumer perception towards green products based on the case of biodegradable table land, co-authored by Akash Ganguly and Professor Divendra Chandra's effect of global warming and people realizing that it actually is a threat to our environment. The world has started to care for the planet's health by applying green approach to every applicable aspect. Well, every aspect of a business can really be sustainable, but if the harms are met by the goods and by the business, the equation might balance. For example, we all have tableware at our home, but when we have company over, we tend to buy temporarily usable tableware for them. Now, biodegradable tableware has been in the market for over a decade now, although the ones that we buy for such short-term uses tend to be non-biodegradable ones. Now, to study the consumer perception, we went ahead with this study.
Thank you, Manisha. Good afternoon, everyone. Now, coming to the research methodology slide, this is a quantitative exploratory research conducted in Kolkata. A sample size of 180 data was collected, consisted of consumers in the age group of 18 to 60 years from the both genders with different educational background and marital status in different professions who have some sense of green product. Data was collected using self-structured questionnaire where 5-point Likert scale have been used for recording of the social part. Awareness for green product is increasing and consumers' perception towards purchasing green products like biodegradable tableware is becoming the most prominent criterion in the modern daily life. Concern for self and society, price, quality, interface, accessibility, accomplishment, government initiatives, and desire for being green are the most influential factor in shaping the purchasing of biodegradable tableware. Hence, the marketer, these 6 factors are vital while framing strategies for positively influence the decision process of the consumer. Thank you.
So you use this principal component analysis.
Yes.
Principal component. So what I understand is that in principal component analysis, the factor which accounts for the largest variability comes as factor 1, component 1. So see the component 6. Desire for being green. It is the last component. So essentially what I understand is that why it is the last component? I will talk about it. This is what your thing is tableware, no?
Yes.
What was the year?
Yes. Yes.
So maybe what I understand is that the last component is a factor, but that our consciousness towards that green thing is not that dominant as well, still not. Maybe that is the why it is the last component.
Yes, so that green marketing is still a new concept and it had to be introduced with a proper plan to the public so that they could understand the importance of being green. Like we are told that we should be green towards our life because we're going to live here for the longest time. But for us to implement it in our real lives, we need to be a little more concerned. So I guess that's why it's last.
Good point.
Presentation will be given by Rajat Chatterjee.
Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, sir. So, my topic for today is study of determinants for the sustainable acceptance of e-commerce by retailers in the garment industry. So, to do this, I'd firstly like to talk about the Indian market scenario for SMEs. Here, SMEs means small and medium enterprises. So, we can see that over here, like Indian retail market has been 46 billion in 2016, and the government has projected a value that the estimation would rise up to 115 billion by 2026. So with that analogy, we can also see that by 2030, India will be generating around 200 billion from the online fashion retail industry. So with this, we have seen that in the garment industry, the only players who are in this online market are the big companies. So when it comes to small and medium enterprises, we don't usually see them doing businesses online. So I have tried to determine the factors that are influencing these small and medium enterprises to actually adopt a sustainable model for e-commerce. So this is the research objective here, is to study the predictors which could influence a retailer or a wholesaler to adopt e-commerce. The literature review that I have used in this study would be the TAM model, which was developed by Fred Davis in 1989, I guess, where he had used this model. Like he had taken two factors, which was usefulness and ease of use, which would enable a particular person to adopt a new technology. So I have taken this into consideration, and also have taken the lack of model, which states that the adoption of electronic data interchange is done through, like he had seen in 7 industries where he had taken the adoption of electric data. So he had found 4 factors which influence these retailers or the several industries that he saw. He had taken 4 indicators which were organization readiness, extensive pressure, customer benefit, and the ease of use. So with the research that I have done, I have taken these into consideration, and these are the 4 determinants that I have taken for my research, which are organization readiness, competitive pressure, customer benefit, and ease of use. This is the research methodology that I have used. I have done a personal interview with around 200 retailers and wholesalers in the garment industry. The only limitation was that I have done this research in Kolkata and Howrah. So I could not take, like this value is not for the entire country. I have taken this data, I have analyzed this data through SPSS, and I have done some interpretation of the data, and we'll be seeing it after the next slide. So here, organizational readiness. There are a few types of readiness for an organization. They can be financially ready, they can be technologically ready, they can be compatibly ready, and they can also the top management has to have that readiness to adopt new changes. So for my research, the first hypothesis was the first research question was that is the organization readiness have a positive effect on e-commerce platform, and the alternate hypothesis for this was that they are ready, or this has a positive effect on adoption of e-commerce. Next, we have competitive pressure. This is the pressure that arises from knowing that your competitors are also doing something that you are not. So that forces you to adopt something. Here also we have taken the research question as, does competitive pressure have a positive effect on e-commerce? And the alternate hypothesis was the same, that competitive pressure has a positive effect on e-commerce. The dependency of each variable on the adoption of e-commerce, and with this we can see that competitive pressure comes it is the most significant factor that influences retailer or a wholesaler to move online. And I can also say for a fact that when I was doing this research and when I had the whole data in front of me, so there was a thing where every retailer thought that his competitor was using e-commerce, but ultimately I had this question that are you already doing this business? So 75% of them said no. but almost 75% of them believe that the other one is doing it. So this is one of the most important factor that influences a retailer or a wholesaler to move on to the e-commerce platform. With this, I'd like to conclude my presentation. My presentation found out that when considering Indian small to medium enterprises, it is not only that organization readiness would be enough to just move on to the online platform. It also has to have that usefulness and the it also has to have the usefulness and the I'm just forgetting the word organization readiness. So all these factors play a very big role when it comes to the adoption of e-commerce by the wholesalers. With that, I'd like to end my slide. I'm open to suggestions and questions.
Your research is also good. Can you just go back?
Yes.
In the one slide.
Okay.
Yes. So, what was your question in this organization readiness?
Sir, I have asked 4 questions. One of them was how technically equipped the manpower is. Do they have technical equipments to use these platforms? Do they have sufficient warehouse where, since I was also asking wholesalers and this was also for retailers for purchasing their products, so they had to have a warehouse where they were keeping this. So did they have that? And so the last question was, does the manager or the top person in these SMEs, do they like using e-commerce? So this is also a very big factor, sir. If you are not using e-commerce for yourself, I'm sure you will not adopt it for your business. So this was the 4 questions that I had asked.
So, what I feel is that adoption of e-commerce is more because of compulsion.
I'm sorry, sir?
Adoption of e-commerce is more because of compulsion.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Competitive pressure.
Yes, sir.
If
Yes,
you are not doing it, then you are getting esteem.
Yes, they think that they are losing business for not adopting it.
We get to become a conscious strategy. And the one is bothered for the customer benefit also.
Right. Thank you, sir.
So I would take the opportunity to thank Dr. Patnaik, who has taken very keen interest in going through each and every video. I was finding like this is one of the sessions where the session chairperson has so much of interest and asking questions to each and every participant. And I think many suggestions from you, sir. I think they should be taking care of that in depth in future research. Okay. And I thank all participants who has come and has given their delivery and presentation quite well. A lot of new young faces from IEM. I thank them that they have taken up so much of interest and delivered your presentation here. And to all people who have presented, and also to my students who are present here, thank you all. And I would request Dr. Patnaik to please come to the last stand.
The first certificate is for Dr. Patnaik. Next is Abhishek Tiwari. Dr. Paul Mukherjee. Manisha Shah. And Rajiv Chatterjee.
Thank you to all. And next program that we'll have a tea break, and everybody should move to the auditorium for further program. Okay, this is a validatory program in the auditorium as a total.
Especially the auditorium itself. So all
Respected Director Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan Kolkata Kendra, Deputy Director Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan Kolkata Kendra, Principal BIMS, Special Guest, Program Conveners, BIMS colleagues, staff and students, learner delegates from corporate and academia, a very good evening to all of you. I, Dr. Anupama Chanda Mitra, feel privileged to welcome you all to the valedictory session Upasanghar of 2-day national conference on sustainable trends and practices in management, commerce, humanities and social sciences research, organized by Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan Institute of Management Science in association with AIMS. Now we begin the program with a welcome dance which will be performed by Devapriya Das of BBA 5th semester. Chief MBA Tata Steel Downstream Product Limited, Dr. S. Patnaik, to please come on stage. Say a few words.
I think even though I was not personally present for most of the sessions which was there, I was there in the inaugural session and now I am here in the validity section. But I am very sure the number of people who have come over here with such an input on the sustainable trends on the various gamut of areas a lot of information must have gone into your head. All these things, you must grasp it, and wherever it is possible, you must put it into action. Grasping and keeping it in your heart and mind in every cell of your body is more important. The reason is, whether you remember it or not, whenever in corporate houses, when you go over there, automatically this will come out of you and it will help you to take the right decision at the right point of time. And you will be in a position to do all that you wanted to do so far as this sustainable trend is concerned. And people who have been chosen for this particular entire topic, and the people who have researched work, and they have made some presentations. I saw in that small booklet which was supplied to me in the very first day, so many papers has been presented. Some of the people who are presenters who were there personally over here, some of them they could not able to come, but this is only an abstract book. Later on we will be coming out with a full booklet of the entire proceedings which is being going with the ISBN number and with the publications, peer publication, whatever is required as per the UGC norms. And many of the students, I was very surprised. I was heard the very first session, many students have written very good papers. In fact, one of the experts was telling me that the students' presentation was much better than our own presentation. So that is how you all have worked very well, and you all have presented a wonderful paper. And I'm not going to name the faculty member. One of the faculty members came and said, "Sir, can I join my name with this particular paper of the student and get it published so that I will add it in my biodata?" That means it's very creditable. I thank every one of you, and I thank all the speakers who have come over here and who have done a wonderful job. And to conclude, we are going to have two more very good speakers who will be giving concluding remarks on this. And any program comes to an end. End is not finishing. End is only a beginning, as we all have studied. So we begin this particular journey of sustainability. We continue to have it. And as every one of us, always says, as a legacy, we have to leave everything good for the next generation. So that is what we are going to do, and we will march ahead, proceed further. Thank you very much. All the best to you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. May I now request Dr. S.P. Mahapatra, Principal BIMS, to say a few words.
Good evening to all whoever present here, and I'll also extend my thanks to all the members who have put their best effort during this 2 days national conference. You have started putting effort much before the national conference. As a customary, I would like to start my thanks note to our Honorable Director, sir, Dr. G.B. Subramaniam, sir. On the very first day when we took this proposal, he first said, if there is anything learning, please go ahead. And today also in his concluding remark, he said, learning is a journey, not a destination. There is no end. You can continue to learn. And wherever there is learning, he said, go ahead. And thanks to you, sir. Today, I am sure all of the students must have taken some input about sustainability, even they were not knowing anything prior to that. And it will be incomplete if I don't thank to our Deputy Director, Madam, Dr. Sujata Ghosh. As I said in my first remarks also, when we arrange some event, as an expert in handling events, I always seek her advice, and she is always ready. And in absence of our director, sir, she has really contributed a lot in guiding us in this event. Thank you for that, Dr. Sujata Ghosh, Deputy Director, and Mr. Ashok Kumar and Dr. Stita Pragya Patnaik. So humble gentleman with lot of knowledge, but the humbleness is at the peak. And Dr. Stita Pragya Patnaik was there throughout the second half of today. Still then, with the same glow and same happiness he is sitting here, the reason is learning is happening. For him also, for the rest of the audience also. As long as learning happens, you never get tired. But if you feel that no learning is happening, even a one-liner also difficult to digest. And Mr. Asar Kumar from corporate will surely listen to his address shortly. But this concluding address will be incomplete without giving a lot of I can say thanks will not be appropriate to all of you, including the convener of this program. I didn't at all feel that something is going on, and they have brought up one of the best programs of Bhavan with very ease. She is Professor Paulini and Professor Joydeep. I'll tell you the way you were managing the show with this enthusiastic team, and first time I saw in my career, such a national conference is going on, I'm only signing somewhere, but all the things will be very smoothly taken care by them. And lastly but not the least, all the dignitaries who were there on that day or who are still present today, they are a great support in making us our program to improve further. You know there will be some errors, some limitations, something, but that will be one of the most important vitamin to improvise upon in the next event. So thank you all who have given their very, what I can say, critical judgment where we need to improve upon. And today's dais also to be shared by Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Shajil Dasgupta, who confirmed to come, and he has given his well wishes to all of you, but because of some unavoidable official assignments, he couldn't make it too. And it's a last moment call from the VC office that we are extremely sorry that our VC is not making it up. But next time when we'll do event, we'll always see him with us. So this is an information to you all. Now I'll leave it on to Anupama, but I'm feeling very, very happy to be here, part of this national conference. Thank you.
Deputy Director Shrimati Sujata Ghosh ma'am to say a few words. Now we are in the concluding session of the National Conference on Sustainable Trends and Practices in Management, Commerce, Humanities and Social Science Research. Let me first tell you a very good evening. I feel you are also feeling that the evening is very good because you are going to organize a program in a very successful way. So this evening is an evening of success to you all. So I am feeling that this evening is very good, and I feel that you are also feeling the evening very good. So please loudly say good evening. Good evening. In this 2 days conference, eminent speakers, respected vice chancellors from different universities came and discussed the topic, and they enlightened us with various aspects of sustainable practices in different fields. In this session also, we have with us the eminent speaker who will also enrich us. We have observed several research paper presentations which are projecting newer avenues to help sustenance. And I have seen that some of the research papers were highly appreciated by the experts of the session. But I feel that implementation of these learnings in practice would only honor and justify their hard work. I believe that our students are very much benefited from this conference. As Sir very correctly said, that whatever you have listened, you grasp it, you keep it inside you, and
you try to enjoy and you try to digest it. That is what is called learning. So, and I feel that the most importantly, you have got some idea about sustainability and you have got some idea about what are the recent research works which are going on in this field. Personally, I believe that individual effort can greatly contribute for advancement towards sustainable development goals. Commitment and awareness from every one of us is needed to reach that goal. Very simply, in our day-to-day habits, if we follow something that will also contribute to sustainable development, like simply make use of energy resources judiciously, avoid using single-use plastics, just try to switch over to renewable sources, use energy efficient gadgets, or follow the 3 R's rule, that is reduce, reuse and recycle, and many more such small activities are there which we can do in our day-to-day practices.
May I now request Dr. S.P. Mahapatra, Principal BIMS, to felicitate our guest, Mr. M. Ashok Kumar.
Thank you, sir.
Assistant Professor BIMS, to felicitate Srimati Sujata Ghosh, Deputy Director, Bharati Vidya Bhavan, Kolkata, Kendra.
Good evening. Respected Director, Srimati Sujata Basu, right? Ghosh, sorry, Srimati Sujata Ghosh. Principal Sir, Dr. Patnaik, all my respected teachers here, the teachers of the students they remain teachers forever. They teach something or the other. My friends, who are the student communities. It's a pleasure, and addressing the students is always a joy. When I came here and I was sitting, I find something different. And I'm not saying for the heck of it, but I feel, look, this is probably the last part of your two-day conference. I don't find many empty seats. And you're pulled apart between your fatigue of going and doing something else, relaxing, and something which is pulling you towards this dais. So there is something, a voluminous amount of energy which is commendable. I appreciate your participation. I appreciate you coming over here. Thank you very much. The other thing what I see noticeably different is when I go to the other schools, here also students are fun loving. But here I think that, again I'm not saying because you invited me, I think the intellectual quotient is slightly higher here. Okay? You guys are very joyful. I can see cheerful faces. I can see people are very happy, but I feel you're also intellectually very motivated. I only have proven that my assumptions and my reading is not wrong, and which doesn't happen usually. So I'll take about 10-12 minutes. I didn't prepare anything, but I'm going to speak my heart out, and I'm going to also include some of my thoughts which I gathered in the last about an hour before coming over here. I also want to mention the special Devo Priya. She's not here, I saw her going out. This dance was interrupted twice. Interruption and sustainability. I was talking to Dr. Subramanian, I said that look, this was something which I had in my mind till, and then he also probably agreed. But then while she was a little disturbed, but she was poised, she was determined. And she had the passion. Okay? This passion will differentiate you. This passion will differentiate you because there's not much of a difference in, I would say, intellectual, your hard work, your connections, is not much of a difference. But this passion is something which God has given each and every individual of us. And that's an ingredient of your DNA. If you find your passion, your mojo, your purpose in life, I think you have done the purpose for which you came. So let me get into the stuff that I have. Sustainability mean. What it means, you meet your current needs, and the need could be anything. In marketing we study needs, right? Needs, wants, desires, whatever it is. I don't want to get into technical aspect. You meet the current needs without compromising with the ability to manage your future needs. Okay? Difficult? It's going overhead? Sir, why at 5 o'clock you're asking all these things? Sir? Is it right? Okay. I'll talk about sustainability from two aspects. What I have been practicing as a part of Tata Group. So sustainability is a leadership choice. It's a choice, and it's a leadership choice. So leadership has a particular, let's say, triad. Leadership has a particular, let's say, one set of, dimension, and that is, so leadership actions, leadership decisions. You choose to be a leader, okay? We in Tata Group, whatever business we get into, we have decided either we'll be number 1 or number 2 in the business. Number 3, we exit. Okay? From Tata Motors, sir from Tata Motors, he was telling about his, he said he's from Tata Motors. So, 3 years back, 4 years back, just look at Tata Motors. What was the market share? And look today what Tata Motors has done, right? And what have they done? They've taken leadership position in electric vehicle manufacturing, right? Every car, electric vehicle, Tata Motors have taken the lead. I'm not qualified to talk about Tata Motors, okay? Let alone Tata Steel aspect I would talk. But then look at the leadership and the strategy that they've taken. If you want to be sustainable in your life, whatever you do, either business or you want to have a career, you got to have a leadership position. And how you want to achieve the leadership position is something, the strategy that you adopt, right? What's the strategy? Strategy means what? What have you been taught in strategy? Strategy means what? What to do. That's what is taught in business schools. In real terms, actually we do a lot of things. So in business terms, strategy is what not to do. Okay? But please don't write that in exam, we'll get 0. Don't write that about humbleness or humility. So there is a concept in a group called heads in the sky, feet on the ground. Okay? What it means is a part of sustainability. If you want to look at the future, your head should be up in the sky. Aspire for long term, aspire for sustainable trends, but your feet should be in the ground. What it means is that you must meet your current customer and your employees' needs, and then if you are able to match these two, I think not only in your business, not only in the corporation that you work for, you yourself will be a sustainable brand. Thank you very much.
We now request Dr. S. Patnaik, Product Head, SME Bandhan Bank, to say a few words. So we have heard a lot from sir during the keynote address. Still, we would like to hear a few words from yourself.
Dr. Subramaniam, Deputy Director Madam Ghosh, Principal Dr. Mahapatra, and our corporate guest Mr. Kumar, faculty members, guests, and student friends. I have already spoken a lot, so I will not take much time. But 2-3 things I would like to say. First of all, I would endorse the view that students' paper were really beautiful and very powerful. So whoever has given that feedback, I second it. In fact, some of the research findings were very insightful also. So I would suggest you better extend them. You extend your research if you can, so that you will find more insight. They were very encouraging, and I went each of your slides. So, too much sustainability for last 2 days. And too much green. But you know, honey, I was just thinking about the sustainability concept comes with 2-3 very funny paradox. Very, very funny paradox if you really see. Suppose a snake suddenly comes here, what you will do? Just move away, no? Or suddenly you discover a tiger here. So, whenever there is a threat, the human tendency is that we generally become suddenly conscious. There is a disease or there is an epidemic, COVID came, and all of us were so much conscious that we did not come out of our home for 2 years. We put on mask whole year. Yeah, it is good habit. We should continue. Though some of us are not continuing now. That is human tendency. We are very cautious about our own existence. We don't bother who exists or not. First, we should exist. I am least concerned whether I never exist or not. So that is actually true. That is why this big allegation is also that out of several species in this universe, this large allegation is only on human being that we are destroying this planet. And actually it is correct. But paradox is that in spite of being that much clever, I am least bothered whether my neighbor is surviving or not, whether my fellow student is clearing the exam or not. We are least bothered about this threat, which is slowly creeping just like a, what do you call, python or this thing, cobra, and almost it has followed net. I was giving example of yesterday Times of India article. The climate change impact is not far. In Sundarban itself, yesterday Times of India, it has come that cost they have evaluated is around 2 lakh crore in last 40 years. But what happened? It took us 40 years to realize that climate is actually damaging Sundarbans. We no need to look at Paris. The second paradox is that the concept of cost and benefit, pleasure and pain, risk and reward, they come together, no? Whoever is doing the pain, he will get the pleasure. Whoever is incurring the cost, he will get the benefit. Yes or no? Whoever is putting the effort, he will get the reward. Yes or no? So this concept is concentrated only on one individual or one entity. But when this sustainability thing comes, this does not work. It works like all the profits are mine, cost is yours. Imagine a iron ore mines or a coal mines or a plastic manufacturing entity who are highly polluting, or a chemical factory. You go to Bapi, Gujarat. You will see uber rich industrialist. Who is who? You will get all imported cars. So the profit is mine. But the cost that I have incurred, damaging the planet, damaging the earth, making empty the mines, depleting the trees, bringing cancer, opening up the ozone layers, that is not mine, that is yours. So this is the second paradox, that all profit is mine but cost is yours. So I was giving that example, so we calculate, whenever we are calculating the cost of a product, we are calculating only the overheads that I am incurring within my unit. Suppose I am using a 10 rupee plastic bottle, you get one plastic bottle, water bottle in 10 rupee, yes or no? So that 10 rupees arrived at taking the raw material cost and the overhead, production cost. But if actually I would add all the cost that has incurred to the damage to the environment, to the climate, what would be the cost of that 10 rupee bottle actually? It will be maybe 1 lakh rupees. Will you still take water at 1 lakh rupees, 100 ml? But that is the cost. So the peculiarity is that all profit is mine, internalized to one person or few person, but cost is externalized to many. And we do not calculate about that cost. The third paradox that comes to my mind, funny paradox, is that you have heard about the criminal justice system. Criminal justice system says that whoever is the guilty has to be punished. Suppose somebody stole something or somebody did a murder. So if X did a murder, X did a crime, who will get punishment? X will get only punishment. Yeah? So is it a scenario that X does a crime but Y gets the punishment? And consistently. So this crime on this sustainability, whoever is doing, he will not be punished. Even if he tries, okay, I am doing this crime, I am going, please punish me, he will not be punished because the real punishment will come 100 years later. The real punishment will come 50 years later, 100 years later, when even if he tries, he will not be there. So even if the culprit is willing, yes, give me punishment, who will punish? Because the nature will punish only after 100 years. So effectively the criminal justice system also does not work. Yes? So what? Even today I got 4 polythene bags, madam was telling about do yourself, do the bit that you can. But paradox is that, okay, I am trying to do, today I got 4 polythene bags, no problem. See my neighbor, he has got 10 polythene bags. I am trying to do, so even the neighbor also tries to rectify, okay, all of us let us try. Then what will happen? We are trying our best, government is not doing anything. So suppose government is trying to do something, then individual nations are telling you, we are underdeveloped, they are developed, why they are now telling when we are trying to develop, now they are giving us all the lectures and all. So these things are going on at every level, at individual level, at community level, at society level, at national level, at international level. So it is, see, you have seen the zigzag of US, no? Barack till Barack Obama, they were complying to this Paris climate agreement. When Trump came, he just pulled out of it. When Biden came, he is again joined. So it is not that only the underdeveloped countries are in dilemma. Even the developed countries are also in dilemma in their own whims and fancy. So honestly speaking, the concluding my, if you take my view, then nobody knows what will happen to this sustainability game. If you really want a solution, don't look somewhere else who is doing what. Rightly, as Madam said, do the bit that you can. Just do the bit that we can. And maybe it is going, the cumulative effort is going to be the large enough to save the planet. And all the practices that Mr. Kumar said, bringing the sustainability to our individual life, various aspects, very vital things. So that's all from my side. It was a wonderful evening. And thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you, sir.
The session. Now we begin the award ceremony, and I request Professor Shemanti Debrai Sen to take over the session.
There are 3 categories of prizes that has been decided. The first one is for the best paper, second one best student's paper, and the third one is the best presenter. So first, to give out the prize of the best paper of the conference, may I request Dr. Ashok Kumar to kindly do the honors. It goes to Dr. Proma Roy Chaudhary. Allow applause for him, please. Awards were based on the marks given by the chairman of the presentation session, technical section. Thank you, sir. Origin Adhikari, Professor Rajiv Kumar Jain, Director, sir. So I think they can exchange the certificates for each other. Anirban Kole, Neelaj Kuhan Yogi, Professor Joydeep Mukherjee, Professor Sriparna Bhattacharya, Dr. Biman Maiti. There are 4 papers in his name. Dr. Paulami Bhattacharya, and they are now called, and the last one is the papers for myself. Now I would request the conference convener, Professor Joydeep Mukherjee, to kindly confer the vote of thanks and declare the closure of the conference.
A very good evening to all present here, esteemed guests, and respected Director Sir, respected Deputy Director Madam, respected Principal Sir, all my dear faculty colleagues, staffs, and all my dear students. So, we are just about to conclude the 2 days of national conference, and I hope we can call it a grand success. Isn't it, students? So It's a privilege and honor to me to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. So I just want to mention few names. I'm really grateful to the people who enlightened our conference with their presence. Honorable Vice Chancellor of Maulana Abul Kalam Azad University of Technology, Dr. Shaukat Moitro. Honorable Regional Vice President is AIMS, Mr. M. Raghuram, Member Technical DVC, CMS Sudeep Datta, Partner Ernst & Young, Dr. S.C. Jana, Retired Professor, BJP Government Autonomous College, Mr. Sibram G. Krishnan, former Head HR and CSR Tata Motors Pune, Dr. Rita Vasu, Professor University of Calcutta, Dr. S. Patanayak, Product Head SME Bandhan Bank, Mr. M. Asad Kumar, Assistant General Manager at NBD Tata Steel Downstream Product Limited. I am really sincerely thankful to our Honorable Director for his continuous motivation, support, encouragement. Without his support, this conference was not possible. I really thankful to him. I am really sincerely thankful to our Deputy Director Madam. She continuously supported us, gave us different ideas, advices. So we are thankful to her. And at this juncture, I want to say something that maybe 3-4 months back, we have first planned about this conference, but due to some unavoidable circumstances, we had to halt the whole process. So, like just 1 month back or maybe 45 days back, when we are about to deciding to resume the process, so we are really skeptical that will it be possible to conduct the conference in this November. So then when we are talking with the principal sir, Dr. Siva Prasad Mahapatra sir, so he said one thing to us that Joydeep, अगर हमें ये नवंबर में करना है तो करना है. Now call is yours. So we take it as a mantra that हमें करना है, and we have done it. So I am really thankful to Principal sir for his continuous support. He was there at every moment with us as a true leader. So I am really thankful to him. And now I would like to thank my joint convener, Dr. Polumi Bhattacharya. So with me, we all together worked so hard. And then I have to mention about my faculty colleagues. All of them, you have seen that, how they have supported this whole program, how they have taken the all initiatives and all. So I am not taking any names. So there are so many names. So and also the staff members, all supporting staffs, technical staff, Taponda, Ranada, other staff, and even our support staff like Bapida, Ringmada, Basu, they have worked like till night, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. they have worked in the college for this conference. Now we have to talk about the students. What they have done, how they have worked. They have worked in the evening, after college hours, at night 12 p.m. On the weekends, we have worked on weekends, they have worked on weekends. At 12 p.m. we are texting them, we are asking them to make designs, and they are doing this. So there are a few students for MBA third years like Joyendra, Raji, Saurabh, they have done a tremendous job. But I was overwhelmed that what have they done by the first year students of MBA and BBA? What are initiatives they have taken? So I am really thankful to you people. Without your support, it was not possible. Thank you very much to all. And as Director sir mentioned that there is nothing is a finish, there is no finish, there is no end. Every finishing is another beginning. So I think this conference has prepared the path for our next national conference, and from tomorrow or the next week we'll be preparing for our next national conference. Thank you all. Thank you all for your support.
अभी हम लोग हंस रहे तो बोल रहे